The Spirit of Aloha as a World Culture. A Vision of the Spirit of Aloha as the Birthright of All Humanity. Frederick Swarup Honig. Introduction. I grew up with my 4 siblings in a white brick house on Beacon Street in Squirrel Hill, built by my grandpa Alex. From earliest childhood, we were part of the work team in our beehive. We started washing the dishes standing on chairs to reach the sink. I mowed the lawn, shoveled snow, helped repair my dad's truck, and was a handyman by age 10. By age 11, I had the largest paper route in the city of Pittsburgh. Throughout high school, I worked for Rosen Optics, putting glass frames together, for Cubits and Goss, driving their panel truck to deliver groceries. But most of the time, I worked in my dad's wholesale grocery business, delivering orders and maintaining order in his warehouse. I took a summer course in auto mechanics and was repairing cars while in high school and saved enough money to fund a summer tour of Europe. In 1970, I began my studies in mechanical engineering at UC Berkeley. I became aware that the prevalent mood on the campus was atheistic. During this period, LSD was also floating around the campus, and I took a microdose. It had a profound impact on my consciousness. I had an experience that changed the course of my life. I experienced unitive consciousness and realized that what is referred to as God is an attainable reality. My twin brother, Edward, was also a student at UC Berkeley studying landscape architecture. After his unexpected passing, I took a break from my studies to heal and explore spirituality. I had already begun a meditation practice and was having experiences that mirrored what I had felt on LSD. My sister Angel sent me a pamphlet from Meher Baba, which said, "Drugs will never take you to the ultimate goal. Only through meditation could that be achieved." I decided to find a guru who could help me hone my meditation skills. I drove back to Berkeley to visit the Meher Baba Center. When I arrived, I found that Meher Baba had already passed. I wanted to find a living guru, so I began my search. I visited the Integral Yoga Institute in Berkeley and asked them if they knew of a guru who experiences the oneness of creation. They said that Swami Satchidananda was offering a 10-day silent retreat in Northern California starting the next weekend. I immediately signed up. That 10-day retreat transformed me from a hippie into a yogi. I became a vegetarian, gave up using any drugs, and started a regimen that included getting up before dawn for meditation and yoga practices. Soon after, I moved to the Integral Yoga Institute in Santa Cruz and became a full-time member. I worked in their IYI health food store and repaired their vehicles. After 9 months, I felt that this was my life path and decided to move to Swami Satchidananda's main ashram, which was located in Pomfret, Connecticut. There I took my monkhood pre-sannyas initiation and was given the name Brother Sri Ram. I took my yoga teacher's training program and became a yoga teacher. After 4 years of living as a pre-sannyasi, I took my final initiation and was given the name Swami Swarupananda. One of Swami Satchidananda's primary teachings is truth is one, paths are many. In nature, there exists only one unitive consciousness that is the source of all manifestation. This one truth is understood in various ways as expressed in the world's major religions. To convey this wisdom to the modern world, our ashram built Lotus, the light of truth, universal shrine, which has an altar for each world religion. This shrine shows that although each religion has its own customs, they all point to the same universal truth. We are all unique spectrum rays of the unitive consciousness in creation and at the same time eternally one with it. After living for 20 years at the ashram, I felt called to start a new center that would be one cell of heaven. I moved to Maui and found an undeveloped 11-acre oceanfront property on the North Shore that seemed to have the potential of fulfilling this vision. Over the past 30 years, the unitive consciousness has pulled off its magic to help make this a reality. Chapter 1. Auntie Pua's Vision for the Spirit of Aloha as a World Culture. There are people in our lives that give us a spark of their wisdom. Auntie Pua was an inspiration to me and to many others. She was a living incarnation of the spirit of Aloha. Her life was her teaching. Every person she spoke to felt blessed by their interactions with her. She was a living saint whose memory still brings tears to my eyes. I first met Auntie Pua when she was practicing Tai Chi at a class that was being hosted at the gardens. Her light was palpable at first sight. She took me under her wing to share her insights. She shared with me the 12 principal values of the spirit of Aloha, and I came to realize that they eloquently express universal wisdom that I had received from being raised in a practicing Reformed Jewish family, and in the 20 years that I lived as a monk in Swami Satchidananda's ashram. I realized that she had mastered this collective wisdom and was effortlessly expressing the spirit of Aloha in every interaction. Auntie Pua expressed her vision with me that one day the spirit of Aloha would be a world culture. She said that the wisdom of the spirit of Aloha was meant not only for Hawaiians, but to be shared with the world. She was the ambassador of the ancient Aloha wisdom passed down by her ancestors. Auntie Pua also supported us in many practical ways. For years, the gardens had been working on getting the permits needed to restore our historic Hawaiian taro fields. This was a challenging endeavor, as each step was closely regulated by the State of Hawaii Historic Preservation Division. We had accomplished the first step with the archaeological inventory survey completed by Dr. Hal Hammett, one of the foremost archaeologists in Hawaii. The next step needed before starting the actual restoration of the taro fields was presenting a comprehensive preservation plan for approval by the Historical Preservation Department. We contacted every approved archaeologist in Hawaii, but the resources required for this plan were beyond our non-profit organization's capacity. Once again, Auntie Pua came to our rescue and worked with us in envisioning and writing this preservation plan. With her guidance, our preservation plan was approved. Swaroop and Auntie Pua at the Garden's historic taro field dedication. August 14th, 2016. The Historical Preservation Division also had a policy that all work done in restoring the ancient taro fields had to be monitored by an approved archaeologist. Auntie Pua supported us by fulfilling this role as well. Because of her stature as a Hawaiian elder, the Historical Preservation Division accepted Auntie Pua to serve as the garden's Hawaiian cultural advisor. They allowed her to monitor and oversee our restoration process. The Gardens is certified by Maui County as a licensed botanical garden. In order to also serve as the Spirit of Aloha Temple and have the rights of a temple to hold religious services, Maui County Planning Department required us to apply for a special use permit. This was a difficult task and required a complex application system involving 9 different state agencies. Ultimately, a Maui Planning Commission hearing was held to vote on our application. Auntie Pua volunteered to testify on our behalf. Enclosed is a written copy of her testimony that she read at that hearing. Anoe ke weliname ke aloha pakahi apau, aloha ke akua. My name is Puanani Mahoe. I am a Kanaka Maoli, native Hawaiian kupuna wahine, woman elder as well as a teacher and healer of the tradition and wisdom of the culture of this Aina land. My ha, breath, and iwi, bones come from here. I am the living, breathing, and a treasured sovereign heritage. Maoli Ea of Aqua, God, and continue with the line of Koko, blood of my Kupuna Kuamu, ancestors, as well as their ambassador of Aloha. My Kupuna Kuamu walk ahead of me, guiding me along this journey of balance and peace. They stand behind me to support and surround me with their mana, power, and aloha that is spoken and unspoken, visible and invisible. The precious cocoa, blood, and life source of my ohana, seen and unseen, identifies me as a treasured sovereign heritage with Kuleana, responsibility of my live birth. I live. I am that I am, and I am here. As a cultural practitioner of spirituality, my work focuses on the spiritual balance within people and how it affects their surrounding environment. It is important for people to understand and appreciate the importance of balance in respect to mind, body, and spirit within their environment. Ua mau ke ea oka, ana aika pono. The life of the land is perpetuated in righteousness, and this means the right usedness of the mind, body, and spirit, or the appropriate use of mind, body, and spirit. It is also important to have a place to continue with the preservation, perpetuation, cultivation, and sustainability of this ancient wisdom of balance. This should be a place where people are given the opportunity to learn and experience, live and practice, and in reality become living testimonies of the spirit of aloha, cultivating its foundation through the practice of core values. Well, such a place exists. The Spirit of Aloha. Oceanfront Botanical Gardens offers guidance in humanity's quest to live in balance with nature. The gardens are dedicated to the oneness of world religions, exemplifying core values that are the foundation of the spirit of Aloha. They also are dedicated to sustainable horticulture and plant-based nutrition, share the science of health through classes and forums on yoga, meditation, and stress management, and to offer holistic organic weddings and life skills that support the long-term success of the couple's relationship as well as family issues. In truth, the gardens are dedicated to preserving life of wildlife, nature, and humankind. In the garden of true fellowship and aloha, the flowers bloom forever. Kaulana Napua. Famous are the flowers, famous are the children of this land. Napua o Hawaii nei, the flowers of Hawaii, the children of Hawaii, the people and families of Hawaii. The spirit of aloha. Oceanfront Botanical Gardens are a family of gardens symbolizing and supporting the vision of all humanity and sentient beings to embrace aloha as the basis for our personal, family, cultural, educational, financial, and sovereign way of life. A family has members, each with roles and responsibility. They contribute to the well-being of the whole. When a member leaves, there is a puka, whole, and the ohana is missing a piece of the whole. The family is not complete as it is missing one of its members. The same principle applies to the Gardens, which is a non-profit organization dedicated to working on the cutting edge of the 5 critical areas stated earlier. These specific areas are the mission statement of the Spirit of Aloha Oceanfront Botanical Gardens. They each make up the whole of the botanical gardens. Therefore, your support and approval of the Spirit of Aloha Oceanfront Botanical Gardens to continue with their work to preserve, perpetuate, cultivate, and sustain in appropriateness the balance of this wonderful culture, tradition, and wisdom. May we remember to be aloha. Please be good and kind to each other. Mahalo ke akua. Puanani Mahoi testimony on behalf of the spirit of Aloha. Botanical Gardens, September 28th, 2010. Chapter 2. Aligning Education and Daily Life with the Spirit of Aloha. My friendship with Auntie Pua was on a soul level. She blessed me with her presence by often visiting our gardens and offered guidance on my spiritual path. I hosted her for many wonderful meals, and in a period that lasted over a decade, she imparted to me a deeper understanding of the spirit of Aloha. Here are the 12 values of the spirit of Aloha that Auntie Pua shared with me. 1. Mahalo, gratitude. By looking at life experiences through the lens of appreciation, we realize that the unitive field is continuously choreographing our present moment to offer us experiences that are perfect for our growth. 2. Ha'aha, humility. By accepting the present moment of our lives, we open ourselves to allowing unitive energy to flow through us. 3. Ihai, respect. By seeing everything as a manifestation of the one unitive field, we naturally offer our love and service freely. 4th, Laulima, simplicity. By taking only what we need and living a life close to nature, we open to the wealth of being satisfied with what is given in the here and now and are freed from the delusion of always needing more to be happy. 5. Ma'alahi, cooperation. By joyfully using our gifts and wealth to serve the unitive field through its creation, we allow unitive energy to flow through us. 6th Pono, honesty. By choosing a life of non-violence, we live in integrity with our true nature. 7. Hauali, happiness. By stilling our minds, we experience the peace within. This is the only joy that can truly fulfill our needs. 8. Aloha, love. By allowing our joy to overflow in service to the unitive field and its creation, the breath of life flows through us. 9. Kuleana, service. By fulfilling our obligations to nature and our environment, by giving more than we consume, we live in harmony and balance. 10. Noah, freedom. By choosing our connection with the unitive field as the source of our happiness, we free ourselves from depending on the approval of others. 11th, Maluhia, peace. By seeing all of our experiences as perfect for our ultimate growth, we live in appreciation, the seed of contentment. 12th, Lokahi, unity. By realizing our oneness with all of creation, we realize that we too are one with the unitive field. Unitive consciousness and its role in life. By understanding these 12 values, we become aligned with unitive consciousness. The universe itself is the manifestation of unitive consciousness. It is from unitive consciousness that energy and mass arise. The universe is one living organism. Stars, planets, and life forms are cells in its body. When we align with its values, we are able to download universal wisdom and our lives flower. Our health is enhanced, our minds are sharpened, and we are given the intuitive wisdom to perform our roles in the cosmic drama. The path to unitive consciousness. Attaining unitive consciousness requires stilling the mind. When the mind is still, awareness of unitive wisdom dawns. Our perception of self shifts from ego consciousness to unitive consciousness. We are freed from both the fear of death and the fear of life. The eternal questions are, who am I? Why am I here? Most people answer these questions by identifying with their body, mind, emotions, careers, marriages, children, and family. In reality, we are the witness, the observer who peacefully watches the show. When we still the mind through meditation, it becomes a clear mirror reflecting unitive consciousness. The sense of separation dissolves, and the realization of eternity and the divine within dawns. This is the state of unitive consciousness. Ego is the state of consciousness where the soul is tested to see if it is aligned with the values of unitive consciousness. These universal values are eloquently expressed as the 12 values of the spirit of Aloha. To align with these values is the goal of life. Those aligned will experience unitive consciousness during their lifetimes and in future manifestations. The lessons learned in the University of Life are never lost. Information is like energy and mass. It cannot be lost. On the soul level, information is recorded. The soul is eternal and manifests in an upward spiral of glory and intuitive wisdom. Meditation, the science of enlightenment. Meditation is the science of enlightenment, the most essential skill any human can develop. Everything that manifests in our lives originates from the seed of thought. Meditation gives us a way to control the mind rather than being controlled by it. In the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, the second sutra defines the essence of yoga. Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Yoga, or union with unitive consciousness, is experienced when the mind is stilled. It is the constant chatter of the mind, the voice of the ego, that traps us in cycles of worry, dissatisfaction, and strife. Liberation arises when the mind is still, and we realize we are the silent witness, not the mind itself. Just as one cannot see the stars when the sun is shining, one cannot receive intuitive wisdom when the mind is chattering. Meditation must be taught from childhood in schools and must be integrated into societies as an essential skill. It is the master key to tuning one's moral compass and allowing the flowering of the soul. The power of mantra. In order to calm the mind, it is necessary to first focus the mind on one point. Once the mind becomes one-pointed, it can let go of that one object and rest in its own bliss. To calm the mind, it must first be focused on a single point. Once the mind becomes one-pointed, it can release that object and rest in its own bliss. A mantra is a sacred sound vibration that stills the mind. For millennia, ancient yogis have used the mantra Om Hrim Namah. Om Hrim Namah. Om is the universal nada vibration, the only unchanging aspect of creation. Hrim is a bija or seed mantra. It is the vibration of the nada and the heart chakra. Nama means salutations, anahata. From this sacred nada vibration of love arises unitive consciousness. From unitive consciousness arises the intention to know, who am I and how may I serve? From intention arises energy. From energy arises mass. From mass energy arises the universe. Om Shalom Aloha. Another powerful mantra uniting the wisdom of Hinduism, Judaism, and the spirit of Aloha is Om Shalom Aloha. Om is the eternal vibration of the nada, the source of unitive consciousness in Sanskrit. Shalom is the vibration of peace in Hebrew. Aloha is the vibration of love in Hawaiian. The mantra Om Shalom. Aloha expresses the essence of the spiritual path. To live in peace and love is to live in God. Daily practice and its societal impact. Each person should choose the mantra that resonates with their being and develop a daily practice. This will elevate the well-being of not only the individual, but also society. Another great gift that should be incorporated into education starting from kindergarten is the practice of Hatha Yoga. This ancient practice helps to reduce stress and enhances the health of the body and mind. By practicing these gentle stretches, the organs and glands are massaged and the muscles relaxed and loosened. A healthier body brings about a calmer mind. Thus, the body and mind are calmed and made ready for the practice of meditation. The 12 Pillars of Stress Management. Stress management is a skill that also needs to be offered starting in childhood. Life can be stressful. Stress management addresses the fundamental causes of stress and gives simple solutions to lead a life that is calm and effective. The most powerful aspect of stress management is the ability to accept our present moment experience as a perfect tool for our growth. When we accept with peace our present moment experience, we establish a foundation upon which we can access our intuitive wisdom. We are able to move forward in making the changes needed to fulfill our goals. A complete system of stress management includes these 12 aspects. First, plant-sourced nutrition. Second, mindful eating habits. Third, exercise. Fourth, posture. Ayındavdı, time management. 6. Positive self-talk. 7. Work satisfaction. 8. Financial security. 9. Relationship skills. 10. Creative self-expression. 11th. Play, laughter, and fun. 12th. Peace and harmony. When these 12 aspects of life are in balance, the wheel of our life spins freely, and we are filled with the joy of life and the fulfillment of performing meaningful service. Nature Guardian Life Skills. Every human should embrace the role of a nature guardian, dedicated to protecting and serving the well-being of nature. Nature guardians experience profound rewards, a calm mind through harmony with the natural world. Fulfilling, purpose-driven lives connected to service. Unitive consciousness, a deep awareness of oneness with all life. The philosophy of Stoicism aligns beautifully with nature guardianship. Stoics live simply, take only what they need, and give generously to life. When humans align with nature, they unlock life's magic synergies and virtuous collaborations, allowing their hearts to flood with joy. Humans who dedicate their lives to serving the well-being of nature will be richly rewarded. They will have calm minds, useful, fulfilling lives, and will ultimately come to experience unitive consciousness. Essential nature guardian life skills to be taught. To be a nature guardian is to be intimate with nature and to experience a state of oneness with nature. Educational organizations should teach the following life skills to empower future nature guardians. First, meditation. Dubonche yoga. 3. Stress management. 4. First aid. 5. Survival skills. 6. Stoicism, philosophy of resilience. 7. Chess and critical thinking. 8. Nonviolent communication, NVC. 9. Spirit of Aloha values. 10. The 10 Commandments, moral foundations. 11th. Yamas and Niyamas, yoga's ethical guidelines. 12th. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights. 13. The Golden Rule. Treat others as you wish to be treated. 14th. Plant-based nutrition and organic farming techniques. 15th. Handyman skills, basic repairs. 16th exercise techniques. 17. Swimming, a life-saving skill. 18. Self-defense techniques. 19. How to deal with a narcissist, managing toxic behavior. 20. How to read body language, non-verbal communication. 21. How to listen to the nada, sacred inner sound. 22. How to listen to your conscience. 23. How to identify the ego, recognizing false identity. 24. How to be content and present in the here and now. 25. How to experience oneness with God, mystical union. 26. Ho'oponopono mediation, ancient Hawaiian techniques for reconciliation and problem solving. 27th, creative writing. 28th, music and sacred geometry. 29th, art and self-expression. 30, play, laughter, and fun. Chapter 3. Aligning societies with the spirit of Aloha. Creating heaven on earth is much easier than one might realize. Peace is the natural order of nature. Humanity's destiny is to live in peace, prosperity, and in harmony with nature. We are the instruments that the unitive consciousness uses to fine-tune the environment. Ultimately, it is humanity's destiny to create peace and abundance. This goal cannot be attained by establishing one world government. Rather, we should promote multicultural countries that are harmonious with each other. If there were only one world government, and if it were to become corrupt, no other world power would be capable of replacing it. And since history has shown that power corrupts, it is advisable to maintain multicultural states. World peace is an attainable goal. We can, like magnets, align so that we are all pulling in the same direction. A metal bar has magnetic force because its atoms are aligned. We humans need to become aligned. We need a common sense of morality. We need to be striving for a common goal. That goal is the well-being of all humanity and nature. Here is how we do it. We define what it means to be a human. We clarify the rights and responsibilities of being a member of humanity. Actually, this has already been accomplished with the 30 articles of the 1948 United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights. We all need to adopt it. We must use it as our pledge of how to treat ourselves and all members of the human race. There are about 30 days in a month, and there are 30 articles. So on each day of the month, the corresponding article should be read. This way, each month, humanity will renew its commitment to this pledge. The article for each day should be recited in schools throughout the world, on newscasts, and in religious and government assemblies. This universal human rights document is the essence of the mission of the United Nations. United Nations Declaration of Human Rights Preamble. Whereas recognition of the inherent dignity and of the equal and inalienable rights of all members of the human family is the foundation of freedom, justice, and peace in the world. Whereas disregard and contempt for human rights have resulted in barbarous acts which have outraged the conscience of mankind, and the advent of a world in which human beings shall enjoy freedom of speech and belief, and freedom from fear and want, has been proclaimed as the highest aspiration of the common people. Whereas it is essential, if man is not to be compelled to have recourse, as a last resort, to rebellion against tyranny and oppression, that human rights should be protected by the rule of law, whereas it is essential to promote the development of friendly relations between nations, whereas the peoples of the United Nations have in the Charter reaffirmed their faith in fundamental human rights, in the dignity and worth of the human person, and in the equal rights of men and women, and have determined to promote social progress and better standards of life in larger freedom. Whereas member states have pledged themselves to achieve, in cooperation with the United Nations, the promotion of universal respect for and observance of human rights and fundamental freedoms, whereas a common understanding of these rights and freedoms is of the greatest importance for the full realization of this pledge. Now, therefore, the General Assembly proclaims this Universal Declaration of Human Rights as a common standard of achievement for all peoples and all nations, to the end that every individual and every organ of society, keeping this declaration constantly in mind, shall strive by teaching and education to promote respect for these rights and freedoms, and by progressive measures, national and international, to secure their universal and effective recognition and observance both among the peoples of member states themselves and among the peoples of territories under their jurisdiction. Article 1. All human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. They are endowed with reason and conscience and should act towards one another in a spirit of brotherhood. Article 2. Everyone is entitled to all the rights and freedoms set forth in this declaration without distinction of any kind, such as race, color, sex, language, religion, political or other opinion, national or social origin, property, birth, or other status. Furthermore, no distinction shall be made on the basis of the political, jurisdictional, or international status of the country or territory to which a person belongs, whether it be independent, trust, non-self-governing, or under any other limitation of sovereignty. Article 3. Everyone has the right to life, liberty, and security of person. Article 4. No one shall be held in slavery or servitude. Slavery and the slave trade shall be prohibited in all their forms. Article 5. No one shall be subjected to torture or to cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment or punishment. Article 6. Everyone has the right to recognition everywhere as a person before the law. Article 7. All are equal before the law and are entitled without any discrimination to equal protection of the law. All are entitled to equal protection against any discrimination in violation of this declaration and against any incitement to such discrimination. Article 8. Everyone has the right to an effective remedy by the competent national tribunals for acts violating the fundamental rights granted him by the Constitution or by law. Article 9. No one shall be subjected to arbitrary arrest, detention, or exile. Article 10. Everyone is entitled in full equality to a fair and public hearing by an independent and impartial tribunal in the determination of his rights and obligations and of any criminal charge against him. Article 11. 1. Everyone charged with a penal offence has the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty according to law in a public trial at which he has had all the guarantees necessary for his defence. 2. No one shall be held guilty of any penal offence on account of any act or omission which did not constitute a penal offence under national or international law at the time when it was committed, nor shall a heavier penalty be imposed than the one that was applicable at the time the penal offence was committed. Article 12. No one shall be subjected to arbitrary interference with his privacy, family, home, or correspondence, nor to attacks upon his honour and reputation. Everyone has the right to the protection of the law against such interference or attacks. Article 13. 1. Everyone has the right to freedom of movement and residence within the borders of each state. 2. Everyone has the right to leave any country, including his own, and to return to his country. 1. Everyone has the right to seek and to enjoy in other countries asylum from persecution. 2. This right may not be invoked in the case of prosecution genuinely arising from non-political crimes or from acts contrary to the purposes and principles of the United Nations. Article 15. 1. Everyone has the right to a nationality. 2. No one shall be arbitrarily deprived of his nationality, nor denied the right to change his nationality. Article 16. 1. Men and women of full age, without any limitation due to race, nationality, or religion, have the right to marry and to found a family. They are entitled to equal rights as to marriage, during marriage, and at its dissolution. 2. Marriage shall be entered into only with the free and full consent of the intending spouses. 3. The family is the natural and fundamental group unit of society and is entitled to protection by society and the state. Article 17. 1. Everyone has the right to own property alone, as well as in association with others. 2. No one shall be arbitrarily deprived of his property. Article 18. Everyone has the right to freedom of thought, conscience, and religion. This right includes freedom to change his religion or belief, and freedom, either alone or in community with others and in public or private, to manifest his religion or belief in teaching, practice, worship, and observance. Article 19. Everyone has the right to freedom of opinion and expression. This right includes freedom to hold opinions without interference and to seek, receive, and impart information and ideas through any media and regardless of frontiers. Article 20. 1. Everyone has the right to freedom of peaceful assembly and association. 2. No one may be compelled to belong to an association. Article 21. 1. Everyone has the right to take part in the government of his country, directly or through freely chosen representatives. 2. Everyone has the right of equal access to public service in his country. 3. The will of the people shall be the basis of the authority of government. This will shall be expressed in periodic and genuine elections, which shall be by universal and equal suffrage, and shall be held by secret vote or by equivalent free voting procedures. Article 22. Everyone, as a member of society, has the right to social security, and is entitled to realization through national effort and international cooperation and in accordance with the organization and resources of each state, of the economic, social, and cultural rights indispensable for his dignity and the free development of his personality. Article 23. 1. Everyone has the right to work, to free choice of employment, to just and favorable conditions of work, and to protection against unemployment. 2. Everyone, without any discrimination, has the right to equal pay for equal work. 3. Everyone who works has the right to just and favorable remuneration, ensuring for himself and his family an existence worthy of human dignity, and supplemented, if necessary, by other means of social protection. 4. Everyone has the right to form and to join trade unions for the protection of his interests. Article 24. Everyone has the right to rest and leisure, including reasonable limitation of working hours and periodic holidays with pay. Article 25. 1. Everyone has the right to a standard of living adequate for the health and well-being of himself and of his family, including food, clothing, housing, and medical care and necessary social services, and the right to security in the event of unemployment, sickness, disability, widowhood, old age, or other lack of livelihood in circumstances beyond his control. 2. Motherhood and childhood are entitled to special care and assistance. All children, whether born in or out of wedlock, shall enjoy the same social protection. Article 26. 1. Everyone has the right to education. Education shall be free, at least in the elementary and fundamental stages. Elementary education shall be compulsory. Technical and professional education shall be made generally available, and higher education shall be equally accessible to all on the basis of merit. 2. Education shall be directed to the full development of the human personality and to the strengthening of respect for human rights and fundamental freedoms. It shall promote understanding, tolerance, and friendship among all nations, racial or religious groups, and shall further the activities of the United Nations for the maintenance of peace. 3. Parents have a prior right to choose the kind of education that shall be given to their children. Article 27. 1. Everyone has the right freely to participate in the cultural life of the community, to enjoy the arts, and to share in scientific advancement and its benefits. 2. Everyone has the right to the protection of the moral and material interests resulting from any scientific, literary, or artistic production of which he is the author. Article 28. Everyone is entitled to a social and international order in which the rights and freedoms set forth in this declaration can be fully realized. Article 29. 1. Everyone has duties to the community in which alone the free and full development of his personality is possible. 2. In the exercise of his rights and freedoms, everyone shall be subject only to such limitations as are determined by law solely for the purpose of securing due recognition and respect for the rights and freedoms of others, and of meeting the just requirements of morality, public order, and the general welfare in a democratic society. 3. These rights and freedoms may in no case be exercised contrary to the purposes and principles of the United Nations. Article 30. Nothing in this declaration may be interpreted as implying for any state, group, or person any right to engage in any activity or to perform any act aimed at the destruction of any of the rights and freedoms set forth herein. With today's advances in technology, aligning humanity's values is within our reach. We, as humanity, have a choice. If we continue down our present path of using wars as a means for resolving geopolitical tensions, we will self-destruct. By aligning our vision to include the well-being of all humanity, we can create sustainable governments and ecosystems. Chapter 4. Aligning Nutrition with the Spirit of Aloha. The power of plant-sourced nutrition. The most profound way humanity can live in harmony with the Earth's ecosystem is to embrace plant-sourced nutrition. Shifting to a vegan lifestyle is not only beneficial for personal health, but also for the health of the planet and the well-being of all living creatures.
A reminder from Albert Einstein.
Nothing will benefit human health and increase the chances for survival of life on Earth as much as the evolution to a vegetarian diet. Vegetarian food leaves a deep impression on our nature. If the whole world adopts vegetarianism, it can change the destiny of humankind. Albert Einstein. The Spirit of Aloha and Plant-Based Nutrition. The Spirit of Aloha teaches us to live with compassion for all beings, harmony with nature, gratitude for life's abundance. A plant-based diet embodies these values by fostering non-violence and respect for all creatures. It is the single most powerful step an individual can take to align with unitive consciousness. The wisdom of leaders and visionaries. Many great spiritual leaders and thinkers have embraced plant-based living as a path to peace and non-violence. Mahatma Gandhi promoted vegetarianism as an expression of ahimsa, non-violence. Albert Einstein advocated for plant-based living for its impact on human health and survival. Both saw that plant-based nutrition was more than just a diet. It was a spiritual and ethical choice. The science behind vegan nutrition. Humans are anatomically herbivores. The human body is designed for a plant-based diet. Humans have a long digestive tract that is 30 to 40 feet, similar to herbivores, designed to process fiber-rich plant foods. Humans have flat molars that are perfect for grinding fruits, vegetables, and grains. Humans also have alkaline saliva, optimized for breaking down plant starches. Health benefits of plant-based nutrition. Prevents chronic diseases, which reduces risk of heart disease, diabetes, and cancer. Boosts immunity by being rich with antioxidants and phytonutrients. Improves digestion by being rich in fiber for gut health. Promotes longevity and healthier lives. Sustainability. Sustainability is a crucial solution for our planet, and plant-based nutrition plays a significant role in this effort. Producing plant foods requires far fewer natural resources compared to animal agriculture. Shifting toward plant-based diets helps reduce deforestation, conserve water, and lower greenhouse gas emissions, making it a practical and impactful step toward environmental preservation. Animal agriculture, on the other hand, has a staggering environmental cost. It consumes 15 times more water than growing plant foods and is responsible for 91% of Amazon deforestation. Additionally, it is a major contributor to climate change due to the high levels of methane emissions produced by livestock. These environmental consequences highlight the urgent need for a global shift toward more sustainable food choices. Beyond environmental concerns, choosing a plant-based lifestyle reflects our compassion for animals and, by extension, our humanity. The way society treats animals often mirrors how it treats its own people. When animals are exploited, corporations may exploit humans. When animals are abused, governments may oppress citizens. A lack of mercy for animal life can result in a loss of harmony with nature. By embracing plant-based nutrition, we end unnecessary animal suffering, honor the sacredness of all life, and restore balance with the natural world. The ripple effect of veganism extends far beyond the food on our plates. Peace, in many ways, begins with what we choose to eat. When humanity ceases to kill animals for food, the collective vibration of violence decreases. This shift in consciousness can foster greater compassion and potentially contribute to ending wars and conflicts across the globe. A plant-based diet also promotes a more just and equitable society. Animal agriculture consumes vast amounts of land, water, and grain, resources that could otherwise be used to feed the hungry of the world. By redirecting these resources toward human needs, we can significantly reduce world hunger. Grains currently fed to livestock could instead nourish millions of people. This shift not only addresses hunger but also promotes economic equality by supporting ethical, sustainable, and cruelty-free industries. Choosing plant-based nutrition is more than a personal decision. It is a powerful act of environmental stewardship, compassion, and social justice. The vegan food groups. A plant-based plate is colorful, nutritious, and delicious. 1. Fruits. Nature's candy, rich in vitamins and antioxidants. 2. Vegetables, packed with fiber, minerals, and phytonutrients. 3. Whole grains. Provide energy, fiber, and B vitamins. 4. Nuts and seeds. Rich in healthy fats and plant-based protein. 5. Legumes, beans, lentils, chickpeas. Essential for protein and iron. Plant-based meals to nourish body and soul. Falafel, a Middle Eastern staple, rich in protein, nourishing humanity for millennia. Rice and beans, a simple, complete protein found in many cultures worldwide. Stir-fried vegetables, a vibrant, nutrient-packed dish. Fruit salad, a colorful, sweet treat for body and soul. Vegan pizza, a comforting, easy-to-digest plant-based classic. The rise of the vegan movement. Veganism is one of the fastest-growing lifestyle choices worldwide. People are waking up to the health, environmental, and ethical benefits of plant-based living. Vegan athletes prove the power of plants. Patrick Baboumian won Germany's Strongest Man in 2011. Vegan. Scott Jurek, ultramarathon legend, vegan. David Hay, heavyweight boxing champion, vegan. Vegan nutrition is ideal for athletes and bodybuilders, proving that strength and endurance come from plants, not animals. Returning to a plant-based diet is, in many ways, a return to humanity's roots. Our earliest ancestors thrived primarily on fruits, nuts, and roots, living in harmony with nature through a diet deeply connected to the Earth's natural offerings. This shift toward plant-based nutrition is not a modern trend, but rather a reconnection with our innate relationship with the planet. The spirit of Aloha beautifully aligns with this plant-based lifestyle. The principles of Aloha, deeply rooted in Hawaiian culture, offer a guiding philosophy for living with greater mindfulness and compassion. Mahalo, or gratitude, reminds us to appreciate the Earth's abundant gifts and to care for its resources with reverence. Ha'aha'a, humility, teaches us to respect all life forms, recognizing that every creature has its place and purpose in the natural world. Pono, integrity, encourages us to make ethical choices that cause no harm, especially when it comes to the treatment of animals. Aloha, the spirit of love, inspires us to extend compassion beyond humanity, embracing animals and the environment with kindness. Finally, lokahi, or unity, helps us understand that all life is interconnected. What we do to the earth and its creatures, we ultimately do to ourselves. By adopting a plant-based lifestyle and living through the principles of Aloha, we restore balance with nature and honor the wisdom of those who came before us. It is a return not just to ancient dietary practices, but to a more harmonious and compassionate way of life. Chapter 5. Aligning Ecology with the Spirit of Aloha. As humanity faces the growing challenges of environmental degradation, energy scarcity, and social unrest, a bold vision for a sustainable and harmonious future emerges, one that draws upon both ancient wisdom and innovative technology. This chapter explores practical solutions to restore balance with nature and foster global peace. From harnessing geothermal energy on the volcanic slopes of Hawaii to developing safer thorium nuclear reactors, these energy innovations offer a pathway toward a cleaner, more sustainable world. Beyond energy, the vision extends to protecting natural ecosystems, transforming Maui into a world-class nature sanctuary, and reimagining Pearl Harbor as a global center for peace and humanitarian action. By aligning our actions with the spirit of Aloha, guided by gratitude, humility, integrity, love, and unity, we can create a future where both people and the planet thrive in harmony. Geothermal energy. To live in harmony with nature, humanity must harvest energy in ways that do not harm the environment. Although solar and wind power have advantages, they also have shortcomings. They are inconsistent and require costly battery systems for energy storage. The optimal energy source is one that provides continuous power without interruptions. Geothermal energy is the most reliable solution. The Big Island of Hawaii, blessed with Kilauea, the world's most active shield volcano, is one of the most practical places on the planet for harvesting geothermal energy. For decades, humanity has had the ability to harness geothermal energy to generate electricity safely. This electricity can also power. Desalination plants produce an abundance of fresh water. Electrolysis systems split water molecules into hydrogen and oxygen, fuels that can power ships, planes, trains, and motor vehicles. Thorium nuclear salt reactors. Another source of continuous energy is nuclear power. However, Conventional nuclear reactors have significant safety risks. A safer alternative is the thorium molten salt reactor, MSR. This type of nuclear reactor offers several advantages. Inherent safety. Unlike traditional reactors, thorium salt reactors do not require active cooling. Automatic shutdown. If left unattended, they naturally cool and extinguish themselves without the risk of explosions or meltdowns. Reduced waste. They produce significantly less nuclear waste compared to conventional uranium reactors. Thorium nuclear molten salt reactor diagram. Thorium reactors have the potential to provide clean, continuous energy while minimizing the risks associated with traditional nuclear power. Creating nature reserves. Every property, township, city, and state should promote and protect nature reserves. These reserves are sanctuaries where ecosystems can thrive, species can recover, and humans can reconnect with the natural world. A vision for Maui. Maui should become a world-class nature sanctuary, with thriving bird and marine ecologies. Its ecotourism should be both educational and transformational, offering guests a profound experience of aloha, setting a global standard for hospitality, healing, and revitalization. In this vision, the surrounding oceans are marine sanctuaries where dolphins interact with and heal people through their sonar. The wisdom of the spirit of aloha is shared with visitors, helping them carry its values into the world. Educational and research centers on Maui. Aina University, dedicated to the science of living in harmony with nature. Its focus areas to include sustainable organic horticulture, delicious plant-based nutrition, conservation practices, wildlife preservation. Kane University, a living research center focused on marine life preservation and restoration. Its studies to include plant-based marine horticulture, coral reef restoration, marine animal rehabilitation, a vision for Oahu. Oahu should become a seat of synergy, embodying the spirit of aloha through humanitarian service and peace-building initiatives. Pearl Harbor, a place of historic conflict, should become a global hub for peace and emergency response. Pearl Harbor, a sacred site for peace. The greatest tribute to those who died at Pearl Harbor would be to transform that sacred site into a global center for peace, dedicated to preventing future wars. In this vision, Pearl Harbor shifts from a symbol of conflict to a symbol of healing and harmony, honoring the sacrifices of the past by ensuring a peaceful future. Pearl Harbor, Oahu, Hawaii. Pacific Peace Corps headquarters, based in Pearl Harbor. Mission: to respond to emergencies across the Pacific Ring. A flotilla of relief ships equipped with floating hospitals, electricity generating ships for disaster zones, water desalination ships, supply ships, tents, blankets, emergency provisions, a volunteer force, an army of skilled Peace Corps volunteers trained in emergency relief operations, disaster recovery, wildfire suppression, community rebuilding, a United Nations Center for Peace and Mediation. Pearl Harbor should also host a special branch of the United Nations dedicated to peace building and conflict resolution. Its primary tool for conflict resolution would be Ho'oponopono mediation, an ancient Hawaiian technique for reconciliation and problem solving. Promotes dialogue, healing, and the restoration of harmony without violence. Ho'oponopono University, Oahu. Oahu should host Ho'oponopono University, a global center dedicated to peace at every level of society. The university would teach peace for the individual, meditation, mindfulness, and emotional intelligence; peace for the family, conflict resolution techniques, and non-violent communication; peace for the community, collaborative decision-making, and cultural diplomacy; peace for society, global mediation strategies, international law, and restorative justice. This university would embody the spirit of Aloha, manifesting peace through knowledge and understanding. Chapter 6: Aligning Capitalism and Corporations with the Spirit of Aloha. For capitalism to truly serve the well-being of humanity, corporations must embody the spirit of Aloha, acting with integrity, fairness, and care for their communities. The primary goal of corporations should be to enhance the well-being of their native country. To achieve this, corporations must be accountable not only for profits, but also for their societal and ecological impact. National responsibility for corporations. Fiduciary duty to their native country. Corporations should serve the well-being of their home country and should not operate as multinational entities. Their primary obligation must be to their local economy, society, and environment. No multinational corporations. Each corporation should be limited to operations within its native country. This prevents exploitation of resources and labor across borders and ensures that companies contribute directly to their home nation's welfare. Freedom of domestic relocation. Only. Corporations may relocate within their native country, but should not be permitted to move their operations or headquarters to another country to evade taxes or regulations. Establishing a Universal Wellbeing Index, UWBI. A Universal Wellbeing Index, UWBI, should be created to objectively rate each corporation based on 1. Societal impact, contribution to public welfare, employee well-being, and community support. 2. Ecological impact, environmental sustainability and conservation practices. 3. Economic impact, job creation, equitable wages, and reinvestment in local economies. Tying corporate taxes and subsidies to impact ratings. To align profits with purpose, a system of tax incentives and penalties should be based on the UWBI rating. Positive impact. Corporations that produce societal or ecological benefits should receive tax breaks or subsidies, such as organic farming companies, renewable energy providers, affordable housing developers. Negative impact. Corporations that cause harm to society or the environment should face heavy taxes such as cigarette and tobacco companies, polluting industries, companies exploiting workers or animals. These approaches strengthen businesses that uplift society and weakens those that cause harm. Fair profit sharing and employee welfare. Profit distribution cap. No CEO should earn more than 20 times the salary of the lowest paid employee. Example: if the lowest salary is $40,000 per year, the CEO's salary should not exceed $800,000. Employee benefits. A portion of corporate profits should be reinvested into higher wages for employees, health and wellness programs, paid family leave and childcare services, education and skill development programs. This model promotes economic equity and strengthens employee loyalty and productivity. Protecting national resources and technology. Real estate and farmland. Only citizens of a country should be allowed to own real estate, factories, and farmland within that country. This protects local resources from foreign exploitation and ensures long-term food and housing security. Strategic industries that are vital to national security should be exclusively owned by citizens. These include social media platforms to prevent foreign propaganda and influence, communication networks to safeguard sensitive information, news and media outlets to ensure unbiased national narratives. These measures prevent hostile entities from gaining control over essential industries and destabilizing societies. Universal Declaration of Human Rights in corporate charters. Every corporation should include the Universal Declaration of Human Rights in its charter, ensuring that all business practices respect human dignity, fairness, and justice, embedding the spirit of Aloha in corporate values. The spirit of Aloha offers timeless values that can guide corporations to operate ethically and responsibly. Corporate charters should include these principles. Aloha, love and compassion. Treat customers, employees, and communities with kindness and fairness. Mahalo, gratitude. Value and protect the resources that sustain business operations. Pono, integrity. Conduct business with honesty and fairness. Laulima, cooperation. Collaborate with local communities for mutual benefit. Lokahi, unity. Foster inclusiveness, diversity, and teamwork. A vision for conscious capitalism. When corporations align with the spirit of Aloha and prioritize societal well-being alongside profits, they create a more sustainable, just, and prosperous world. In this vision, economic systems serve humanity, rather than humanity serving the economy. Sri Swami Satchidananda, December 22nd, 1914, August 19th, 2002. Sri Swami Satchidananda was one of the most widely respected yoga masters of our time. He was a world leader in promoting interfaith harmony. He was the founder of Integral Yoga International, which serves in sharing the ancient wisdom of yoga and plant-based nutrition worldwide. His life and teachings express the essence of unitive field theory. Frederick Swarup Honig lived as a monk in Swami Satchidananda's ashram from age 21 to 40. The dedicated ever enjoy supreme peace. Therefore, live only to serve. Sri Swami Satchidananda. Sri Swami Sivananda. September 8th, 1887. July 14th, 1963. Sri Swami Sivananda was the guru of Sri Swami Satchidananda and one of the greatest yoga masters of the 20th century. He was a physician, monk, and founder of the Divine Life Society and Sivananda Ashram on the banks of the Ganges in Rishikesh, India in 1936. He is the author of 300 books on yoga, health, and Vedanta. In 1945, he organized the All-World Religions Federation. Swami Sivananda merged the various branches of yoga into one holistic approach that he called the Yoga of Synthesis. Through his students, yoga has spread throughout the world. His summary teachings were carved on the ashram's Sivananda pillar and are sung as a devotional kirtan. Serve, love, give, purify, meditate, realize, do good, be kind, be compassionate. Sri Swami Sivananda. Chapter 7. Aligning Governments with the Spirit of Aloha. Ua mauke ea oka aina ika pono. The life of the land is perpetuated in righteousness. The Aloha Spirit and Hawaiian Government. The state of Hawaii is unique in integrating the spirit of aloha into its governance and culture through actual legislation. This commitment to compassion, unity, and mutual respect should serve as a model for governments worldwide. The Aloha Spirit Law. Hawaii has enacted a unique piece of state legislation known as the Aloha Spirit Law, which emphasizes values such as patience, humility, and unity. This law guides the behavior and attitudes of Hawaii's residents and leaders, ensuring that interactions are grounded in mutual respect and compassion. The Aloha Spirit Law profoundly influences Hawaiian society by promoting harmonious and compassionate interactions among residents, encouraging patience, unity, and humility in both public service and private life, serving as a reminder that the well-being of the collective is paramount. The role of aloha in Hawaiian culture. The spirit of aloha is deeply woven into Hawaiian culture, expressed through language, music, dance, and traditions. Examples include language. The Hawaiian language is rich with expressions of love, unity, and connection. Music and dance. Traditional Hawaiian chants, mele, and hula often convey themes of harmony and shared humanity. Cultural practices. Rituals such as Ho'oponopono, reconciliation, reflect the aloha spirit's emphasis on healing and forgiveness. Participating in these cultural traditions fosters a deeper understanding of the spirit of aloha and its role in shaping the character of the Hawaiian Islands. Hawaii Revised Statutes, Chapter 5, Section 7.5. The Aloha Spirit. The Aloha Spirit is enshrined in Hawaii's laws, specifically Hawaii Revised Statutes, Chapter 5, Section 7.5, which defines and codifies this guiding philosophy. Section 5 to 7.5, Aloha Spirit. Aloha Spirit is the coordination of mind and heart within each person, guiding them to express love and goodwill. It reflects the essence of relationships where each person is valuable and interconnected with others. The law outlines the 5 key values, unuhi laula loa, of the Aloha Spirit. First, akahai, kindness expressed with tenderness. 2. Lokahi, unity expressed with harmony. 3. Oluolu, agreeableness expressed with pleasantness. 4. Ha'aha'a, humility expressed with modesty. 5. Ahonui, patience expressed with perseverance. In fulfilling their responsibilities, Hawaii's public servants, including the legislature, governor, judges, and executive officers, should embody and consider the aloha spirit in their actions and decisions. This law elevates aloha beyond a mere greeting. It is a guiding principle for leadership and governance. The shaka, a symbol of the aloha spirit. The shaka is a hand gesture formed by extending the thumb and little finger while curling the 3 middle fingers. It is a universal symbol of aloha in Hawaii, representing friendship, understanding, compassion, cooperation, and solidarity. The shaka is widely used to greet others, express gratitude, or simply share a moment of positivity, reflecting Hawaii's spirit of unity and inclusiveness. Aligning militaries with the spirit of aloha. The true purpose of governments and militaries should be to serve the well-being of their citizens. Militaries, rather than being instruments of destruction, should become forces for protection, humanitarian aid, and peace-building. Using militaries for emergency response and rebuilding. Militaries should be first responders in natural disasters such as earthquakes, hurricanes, floods, and wildfires. Their resources, transport aircraft, field hospitals, engineering units, and supply chains can provide life-saving aid. Militaries should assist in post-disaster rebuilding, helping communities recover and become more resilient. Promoting global peace and Ho'oponopono. Mediation. Peace missions. Militaries should participate in international peacekeeping efforts to prevent conflicts and protect civilians. Conflict resolution training. Military officers should be trained in mediation techniques such as Ho'oponopono, which promotes reconciliation and resolution of disputes. Disarmament initiatives. Shift focus from warfare to reducing arms and preventing violence. Environmental protection missions. Use military capabilities to combat deforestation, poaching, and illegal fishing. Assist in firefighting efforts during wildfires. Protect and restore marine ecosystems by policing against oceanic pollution and illegal exploitation. Global Emergency Corps, GEC. Governments should unite their military forces under a new initiative. A coalition of military units from around the world trained for humanitarian missions. Rapid deployment teams for natural disasters, pandemics, and refugee crises. A joint command center coordinating efforts using shared technology and resources. This initiative would align militaries with their highest purpose, protecting life, promoting peace, and serving humanity. Aloha Spirit, the heart of global governance. The values enshrined in Hawaii's Aloha Spirit law should become a global model for governments everywhere. Imagine a world where leaders, judges, and military commanders acted with akahai, kindness, in diplomacy and international relations, lokahi, unity, in solving global challenges collaboratively, olu, agreeableness, in treaty negotiations and conflict resolution, ha'aha'a, humility, in addressing the needs of the most vulnerable, ahonui, patience, in building a peaceful and sustainable future, a vision for global leadership. If governments worldwide embraced the spirit of aloha, we could witness a transformation in how societies are governed. Eco-centered policies. Environmental protection would be a priority. Restorative justice systems. Focus on rehabilitation, not just punishment. Global solidarity. Nations would unite to tackle climate change, poverty, and injustice. The spirit of aloha offers a timeless path to creating a world that is more compassionate, sustainable, and united. Chapter 8. Aligning the United Nations with the Spirit of Aloha. Reforming the United Nations for a more just world. The United Nations, UN, must be reformed to embody its founding principles, especially the values enshrined in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, UDHR. The spirit of aloha, with its emphasis on compassion, integrity, and unity, should guide the UN's mission to foster peace, justice, and global cooperation. Reforming the United Nations Security Council. To ensure moral authority, the United Nations Security Council, UNSC, must be restructured with a foundation of human rights compliance. Voting rights tied to human rights. Only countries that fully uphold all 30 rights listed in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights should be allowed to vote in the Security Council. Moral compass and veto power. The Security Council should serve as the moral compass of the United Nations, with the power to veto any motions that violate human rights or international law. This reform ensures that only nations committed to human dignity and justice can influence global security decisions. Creating a global, unbiased news system. A verifiable, scientific, and factual news system is essential for humanity's alignment and understanding of global events, independence, and integrity. The UN News Agency should be fully independent from national governments, corporations, or political entities. Journalists and editors must commit to accepting no gifts or payments beyond their salaries from the UN. This system should be protected from political pressure and corporate influence. Tri-agency fact-checking system. To ensure accuracy and eliminate bias, the UN should establish a three-agency verification process. Three independent global news agencies should report on major world events. Each report should undergo cross-fact-checking by the other two agencies. Only when all three agencies agree on the facts should a story be published as a common verified report, CVR. This triple verification system acts as a safeguard against propaganda, misinformation, and media manipulation. Human rights compliance monitoring. In addition to news reporting, these agencies should rate countries annually on their compliance with the 30 articles of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, publish human rights scores, promoting accountability and transparency, selecting ethical journalists. Journalists for these agencies should be selected from individuals known for their moral leadership, integrity, and commitment to truth. They should live by the principles of simplicity and service, valuing truth over fame or profit. Promoting spiritual leadership and unitive consciousness. Humanity's journey is a path toward unitive consciousness where we experience life as a connected whole, one human family. In this spectrum of spiritual evolution, few have fully realized unitive consciousness. Therefore, humanity must elect leaders from the upper part of this moral and spiritual pyramid who value nationalism and brotherhood among nations, strive for global peace and cooperation, act with humility, compassion, and wisdom. Democracy will only serve humanity if its leaders embody these higher values, serving not just their own nation, but the whole of humanity. The right to maintain cultural integrity. The spirit of Aloha and unitive consciousness value the diversity of cultures, recognizing that each culture is a sacred expression of humanity's collective soul. Each culture adds its own spice to the great feast of humanity. Just as a beautiful painting is created by many colors, not a single gray tone, humanity's richness lies in cultural diversity. Cultural preservation as a human right. Every culture has the right to preserve its identity, traditions, and values without forced assimilation. No culture should be erased or diluted through colonization or mass displacement. Refugees and cultural compatibility. If people must seek refuge due to war or natural disasters, they should be resettled in countries with similar cultural values and traditions. This preserves both the dignity of the refugees, helping them adapt with ease, the cultural identity of host countries, religious and cultural freedom. Religious expression is a fundamental human right. No country should force its citizens to convert to a particular religion, ban religious practices, promote state-imposed atheism. Each nation should protect the majority culture while offering freedom and safety to religious minorities. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 18. Everyone has the right to freedom of thought, conscience and religion, cultural identity and national integrity. Nations should maintain their cultural identity while upholding religious freedom. India, predominantly Hindu, honoring its deep spiritual heritage while respecting minorities. Israel, a Jewish cultural homeland, preserving its unique identity while protecting minority rights. Europe, North and South America, rooted in predominantly Christian traditions while embracing pluralism. Islamic countries, honoring Islamic culture and offering peace to other faiths. Chapter 9. Aligning World Religions with the Spirit of Aloha. To have religious freedom, each religion must have religious responsibilities. Every religion must support the rights afforded in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. All religious teachings of any denomination or any faith must offer teachings that support these human rights. If a religion does not support these rights, then it should not be given the right to pose as a religious organization. The goal of religion is to bring people together to love and serve each other. Any religion that teaches hatred of another religion should not be given the status or rights of a religious organization. This way, hatred will be diminished and cooperation will be expanded. We are ultimately one being. Let us not fight with each other. Let us develop cooperation skills, understanding the root of egoism. In the book of Genesis, Joseph forgave his brothers for having sold him into slavery. Joseph supported his brother in surviving. He convinced Pharaoh to allow the Jewish people to live in the land of Egypt during the famine. Religions have to let go of animosity among them. No religion should claim to be the only true religion. Religions should promote harmony with other religions who are also dedicated to living in peace. In the Bible, the first humans, Adam and Eve, ate of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. From that choice, they descended into a lower level of consciousness where they experienced duality. Instead of seeing life as one unitive field of consciousness, they experienced life in the duality of good and evil. Instead of seeing their bodies as pure expressions of unitive wisdom, they saw them as naked and needing to be covered. Instead of seeing other beings as manifestations of the one unitive consciousness, they perceived others to be either good or evil, friend or foe. Instead of being grateful for the nutritious fruits and vegetables growing abundantly in their garden, they also craved eating other animals. Because they were considering killing other animals, they became fearful that other animals may be considering eating them. Instead of living in harmony with nature, they became defensive and needed to build fortified shelters that would protect them from other animals and perhaps also from other humans. Instead of being able to relax and enjoy the glory of nature in their divine gardens, they had to work tirelessly and were anxious. They had descended from unitive consciousness into ego consciousness. They now felt that they were alone and separate from the unitive field. They felt that there was an inside that I am and an outside that I am not. They also felt that they were the doers and that the unitive field was separate from them and not able to directly function through them. They felt alone, separate, and vulnerable. Thus, humanities began to choose to experience life in duality. The goal of the experience that we call life is to get back into our original state of unitive consciousness. That is our fundamental mission. To achieve this reunion with unitive consciousness, religions have been established. 12 Universal Truths, aligning world religions with the spirit of Aloha. First, understanding unitive consciousness. There exists only one unitive consciousness that we call God. We all worship the same God, though we call him by different names and have different rituals. Second, understanding the essence of all world religions. The essence of Auntie Pua's teaching is Aloha ke aqua aloha. Aloha is God, God is aloha. May we remember to be aloha. Please be good and kind to each other. Mahalo ke aqua. Swami Sivananda's essential quote is carved in the Sivananda pillar in the ashram's central courtyard. Serve, love, give, purify, meditate, realize, do good, be kind, be compassionate. The Judeo-Christian essential teaching is the Golden Rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Third, the right to understand God in our own ways. We all recognize that each person has the right to see God in his own unique way, and we allow people to convert to a new religion if they feel inspired to do so. We should refrain from actively attempting to convert anyone. Fourth, the right to follow our reason, values, and conscience. We should not be required to believe in miracles in order to have faith in any religion. We should not be required to believe that anything happens outside of the laws of physics. Instead, our faith should be based on teachings that resonate with our reason, values, and our conscience. Fifth, all religions should teach religious tolerance. No religion should claim to be the only true religion. No religion should claim that it is perfect and that it does not need to be continually refined and upgraded. We must agree that as cultures evolve, religions must also evolve. God and nature and religions are ever evolving. Sixth, no religion should claim that it or any of its clergy are perfect. No religion should claim that it or any member of its clergy is perfect. The Heisenberg uncertainty principle proves this in all levels of manifestation. A certain imperfection and unpredictability are always present. God loves striving to higher and higher levels of love and consciousness, and this is the game he never wants to end. We are continually evolving and growing. We all have room for improvement. Seventh, embracing a monastic lifestyle. We need to understand the benefit of some members of each society leading a monastic lifestyle. These should be souls who are dedicated to serving humanity with all of their life force. They are joyfully willing to adopt humanity as their family, rather than having their own nuclear family. A person who embraces sense control and transmutes their sexual energy into spiritual energy through the practice of brahmacharya will have the stamina to be a noble servant of humanity. If 10% of humanity were to embrace this lifestyle, Earth would seem like heaven. The members of humanity's news agency board should be of the highest moral standard. We propose that members of this modern-day monastic tradition be the guardians of morality for the 3 United Nations news agencies. Another reason why this is important is that if a parent has a child that needs his attention, that becomes his first duty. We need souls who are free of all outside obligations. That way, they can dedicate their full attention to their mission. They can focus on serving as humanity's guardians for the accurate and unbiased reporting of world news. Eighth, the truth about the dualities, good and evil, light and darkness. There exists a delusion that evil exists as a separate force opposing good. This is not the case. In reality, there exists only one force in the universe, and that one force is an expression of love and service. There are those who believe that there is one force that governs light and an opposing force that governs darkness. This is not the case. In physics, light has been proven to be an electromagnetic wave, and its force is measurable. In physics, there exists no force of darkness. What we call darkness are places where the light is not shining. Darkness does not have any power. It is just the absence of light. In our march to unitive consciousness, we progress from darkness into light. The darkness, called evil, is actually ignorance. What is called evil are mistakes made by unripe souls. When Jesus was being crucified, he said, "Forgive them, Father. They know not what they do." He did not say that they were evil. He said that they were ignorant. Today's sinner can become tomorrow's saint. In the university of life, souls evolve to experience the oneness of creation. In this process, immature souls make mistakes on their path. Mistakes are unavoidable and are a natural unfoldment of the process of learning. We evolve by trial and error. Making a mistake is not a sin. Mistakes are stepping stones to our ultimate realization. If we see each other as one family, we can appreciate and learn from those who are our older brothers and sisters and have compassion for those who are yet to mature. Ninth, no religion should demonize other religions. For example, in the 3rd century, Rome chose to become a Christian country. After having crucified Jesus and after having destroyed his temple and birth country, they needed someone to blame. The Jews were used for this purpose. Rome invented a story that the Jews wanted Jesus to be crucified. There has never been in the history of Judaism a case where a group of Jews harmed a rabbi. Jesus was a respected rabbi in Israel, and the Jews had no animosity toward him. Jews have been persecuted for centuries because of this unwarranted demonization. Religions teaching hatred should lose their 501c3 non-profit status and should not be allowed to pose as a valid religion. 10th, defining what is a moral act. All religions must agree that their approach to understanding the path to unitive consciousness is evolving. We must adopt customs that are relevant to our lives in this era. As such, sacrificing any life forms in the name of pleasing God must be eliminated. We must define what is a moral act. A moral act must bring some benefit to someone and no harm to anyone. Such an action should not be condemned by any religion. For instance, if someone chooses to live a monastic lifestyle, their religion should not deny them that right. Similarly, if someone chooses to have a life partner of their same sex, their religion should not deny them this right. Our conscience is our moral compass. 11th, the power of positive thinking. All religions must understand and teach the wisdom of positive thinking. As we think, so we become. Religions should teach peace, love, tolerance, and compassion. They should teach through inspiration and optimism. They should not teach through fear and hatred. In physics, the electromagnetic force of attraction is more powerful than the force of repulsion. This is the reason everything in nature is spinning. We can spin with this same force if we use love as our motivation instead of using fear. Religions should not teach through the fear of eternal damnation or the fear of end-time doom and gloom. These only scare young minds into timidity. Humans should know that God's plan is to empower all humanity and nature to evolve into greater and greater realms of harmony. We are all on this sacred journey together. Let us enjoy the ride and support each other in embracing positive, optimistic thoughts. As we think, so we become. 12th, the truth about the danger of atheism. The danger of atheism should be revealed to humanity. Even those who choose not to identify with any formal religious order are still bound to follow universal ethical values. Atheism is a dangerous spiritual path. By following an established spiritual path, the attainment of unitive consciousness is much easier. It is similar to the difference of walking on a well-paved road as opposed to trying to forge an uncharted trail going cross-country through rough terrain. The danger of atheism is that you can lose your awareness of your connection with the unitive force. Then you are not able to access its guidance through the power of intuition and synergies. The goal of life is to secure this unitive connection. Atheism means walking the spiritual path alone. It is the hardest and most dangerous path. When people have to cross a raging river in order to stay safe, they join hands and walk in a group so that if one slips, the others can help secure them. Ants also do this to avoid drowning in floods. Atheism is like trying to forge a raging river by yourself. You can easily be swept away by the current. Atheists should come to understand the benefits of following a spiritual path. Religions offer spiritual support to make the experience of unitive consciousness a goal that can be attained during one's lifetime. One does not need to wait to die to be united with unitive consciousness. This state should be achieved during one's lifetime. Choose the spiritual path that resonates with your heart. Follow it with all your zeal. Then your spiritual growth is assured. If one opens to receiving this source's support, it becomes a powerful ally on one's life journey. Life is a challenging experience fraught with obstacles. Statistics have shown that being an atheist puts one in a health risk that is similar to one who has smoked cigarettes for 40 years. In order to be healthy, one must have a connection with the unitive field. It is this alignment that gives us the reason to want to live. Without a purpose in life, life can appear to be meaningless and cruel. This diminishes our desire to live and shortens our lives. Those who have a mission of attaining unitive consciousness and are dedicated to being of service to others will be inspired to find solutions to the challenges of life. They will be given intuitive wisdom and an inner power to heal themselves and others. To imagine that there is not a unitive consciousness source behind the existence of the universe and that we are alone and separate from this source is what is called egoism, maya, or ignorance. Each person must understand this source in their own way and develop their own intimate relationship with it. Chapter 9. Aligning World Religions with the Spirit of Aloha. The roots of Hinduism and Judaism date back over 5 millennia. Hinduism is the mother of religions. Judaism is the father of religions. The spirit of Aloha eloquently expresses the spirit of religions. The essence of Hinduism is the 10 yamas and niyamas. The essence of Judaism is the 10 commandments. The spirit of religions is eloquently expressed as the 12 values of the spirit of Aloha. This collective universal wisdom is known as Aloha Hinduism. This universal wisdom maps the path back to unitive consciousness. By following this wisdom, the sense of separation evaporates and the experience of oneness prevails. We return back to our unitive state of consciousness. In this unitive state, we see that all humanity is on a journey back to oneness. The Hindus and the Jews are respected as older brothers on the path. Their guidance and light are examples that guide younger religions. The 5th commandment states, "Thou shalt honor thy father, thy mother." Humanity must honor its spiritual parents, Judaism and Hinduism, as guides on the path to unitive consciousness. There should be nothing in newer religions that contradicts the 10 commandments, the 10 yamas and niyamas, and the 12 values of the spirit of Aloha. No newer religions should say that it is replacing and negating its parents. Instead, they should be branches of the same tree of wisdom. In all history, Judaism and Hinduism have lived in harmony with each other. There has never been violence between them, and they have supported each other. Neither religion has attempted to convert others to follow its religion. Both believe in religious tolerance. When Rome conquered Jerusalem and destroyed the Second Temple and banished the Jews in 70 AD, many Jews took refuge in southern India in Kerala. They lived harmoniously as Jews for thousands of years in a primarily Hindu culture. They form a union known as Hinduism. Their teachings are compatible and complementary with each other. Their spirits are married, and they are a sacred couple. They are the mother and father of all world religions. There is just one unitive consciousness in the universe. This one eternal reality is referred to as God. There is only one God, and Hindus and Jews both worship this one God in their own unique ways. Buddha was born and died a Hindu. Therefore, Buddhism is a branch of Hinduism. Jesus was born and died a Jew. His 12 disciples were born and died as Jews. Therefore, Christianity is a branch of Judaism. Muhammad claims to be a descendant of Abraham. Islam is an Abrahamic religion and therefore is also a branch of Judaism. The followers of Christianity and Islam also worship this same one God. As such, all humanity worships the one God of the universe. In this, we are united as one spiritual family. Our unique religions are paths back to the same source. Truth is one, paths are many. The harmony between Hinduism and Judaism was brilliantly presented by Swami Vivekananda at the 1893 World Parliament of Religions in Chicago. Here is a transcript of his famous speech. It fills my heart with joy unspeakable to rise in response to the warm and cordial welcome which you have given us. I thank you in the name of the most ancient order of monks in the world. I thank you in the name of the mother of religions, and I thank you in the name of millions and millions of Hindu people of all classes and sects. My thanks also to some of the speakers on this platform who, referring to the delegates from the Orient, have told you that these men from far-off nations may well claim the honor of bearing to different lands the idea of toleration. I am proud to belong to a religion which has taught the world both tolerance and universal acceptance. We believe not only in universal toleration, but we accept all religions as true. I am proud to belong to a nation which has sheltered the persecuted and the refugees of all religions and all nations of the earth. I am proud to tell you that we have gathered in our bosom the purest remnant of the Israelites, who came to southern India and took refuge with us in the very year in which their holy temple was shattered to pieces by Roman tyranny. I am proud to belong to the religion which has sheltered and is still fostering the remnant of the grand Zoroastrian nation. I will quote to you, brethren, a few lines from a hymn which I remember to have repeated from my earliest boyhood, which is every day repeated by millions of human beings. As the different streams having their sources in different paths, which men take through different tendencies, various though they appear, crooked or straight, all led to thee. Swami Vivekananda's speech at the World Parliament of Religions, Chicago, USA, 1893. From Anti-Semitism to Philo-Semitism. Dispelling common misconceptions and replacing them with a deeper understanding to build bridges of Aloha. Some people love Jewish people, and some people have been culturally indoctrinated to dislike them. Some people may perceive Jews as mirrors and see in Jews a reflection of their own character. Those who love God and respect themselves will see their loving reflection in Jews. They will therefore love and respect Jews. People who feel misaligned with the universe or feel that the universe is meaningless and cruel may become anti-Semitic. Those who embrace hatred and violence may dislike Jews. All the negative qualities that they see in themselves they will not want to acknowledge. Instead, they will project these qualities onto the mirrors. They will blame the Jews for all the negative qualities that they are expressing in their own lives. This is the origin of anti-Semitism. Those who hate God and themselves will dislike Jews. Those who love God and themselves will like and respect Jews. Those countries that embrace Jews within their borders are successful. Those that persecute Jews within their borders experience violence, instability, and lack. Those beings who embrace the unitive consciousness are blessed. Those beings who deny the unitive consciousness and disregard the well-being of others will be cursed by their own thought power. As you think, so you become. Those who think of love and service will grow into oneness with the unitive consciousness. Those who think of hatred and malice will descend into lower levels of consciousness and will be unable to experience their oneness with the unitive consciousness. Eventually, lessons will be learned in the university of life. Through suffering, those who embrace hatred will learn that it doesn't lead to happiness. There are no evil beings, only ignorant beings. The ignorant will ultimately learn and evolve and align to express the values of the unitive consciousness, which are pure love and service. Eventually, all souls will evolve to experience unitive consciousness. Those who embrace universal wisdom will arrive sooner. In Genesis 12:3, God makes a promise to the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you I will curse, and all peoples on earth will be blessed through you. History proves this. Shortly after they crucified Jesus, Roman tyranny destroyed the temple, murdered, enslaved, and evicted the Jews from their holy land. Soon after, the Roman Empire fell and has faded into history. Despite continued attacks made against Israel, she is surviving, and Isa continual blessing to the peoples of the earth. A significant percentage of all Nobel Prize winners are Jews. Their gifts to humanity continue to flow. Israel is a world leader in water management. Their water desalination and reclamation technologies are blessing all humanity. They have brought water abundance to desert environments. Israel is sharing this technology with the world and also providing drinking water to its neighbor Jordan. There are virtuous people and ignorant people in all religious groups. No one group has a monopoly or is superior to others. We are all children of one God. Am Yisrael Chai. May Israel continue to bless the peoples of the earth. Chapter 11. Aligning history with the spirit of Aloha and correcting common misconceptions. First, the truth that we are one with God. The basic ignorance is to believe that we are separate from God. Egoism is the stage of consciousness that experiences itself as separate from God. Unitive consciousness is the awareness that dispels this illusion. Religions are the paths for this transformation. Second, the truth about Jesus and the Sanhedrin. When Jesus said to the Sanhedrin that he was one with God, the rabbis would have cried for joy. The core prayer of Judaism is Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echud. This means, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. If the Lord is one, it is one with all creation. Anyone who experiences this oneness has solved the mystery of life. When Jesus declared his oneness with God, that would not have been interpreted as blasphemy. Jews were not in any way responsible for the crucifixion of Jesus. It was the Romans who crucified Jesus and murdered hundreds of thousands of Jews in the time of Jesus and in the first century. Third, the wisdom of Stoicism. Stoicism offers timeless wisdom for being the master of the mind instead of its slave. This is the goal of life. To attain unitive consciousness, the mind must be able to stay still. Only a mind that is disciplined can achieve this ultimate goal. Start gradually and be steady with your practice, and you can attain this goal in this very lifetime. Don't wait to die to experience God. Do it while living. Materialism is a dangerous cult that is pervading humanity. It is a sickness that needs to be addressed. There exists a delusion that people will become happy by satisfying their mind's desires. In all human history, no one has yet been successful in this quest. The more you give the mind, the more it will crave. Its desires are ever expanding, much quicker than anyone can fulfill them. This can lead to obscene wealth and moral bankruptcy. Stoicism provides the wisdom needed to overcome materialism. The mind is the world's greatest servant. When used properly, it can be used to uplift humanity. However, when it becomes the master of the conscience, the mind can make us slaves of its desires and ruin our lives. Many great souls have experienced downfalls by becoming slaves of their desires. We have to learn to control the mind and, like a gardener, cultivate desires that help to enhance our well-being. We also have to weed out those desires that are not a win for ourselves, for others, or for the environment. Our desires should enhance our well-being and the well-being of others. Then it is worthy desire. Those desires that are unnecessary or destructive should not be fulfilled. They should be weeded out with the power of discrimination. Every action should do some good for someone and no harm to anyone. One should use force only for self-defense. A common illusion is that someone else can make you happy. No relationship and no job and no amount of wealth can make you happy. There is only one source of happiness. That is the calming of your own mind to experience the state of oneness. When the mind is still, it reflects the God within. Fourth, correcting common misunderstandings about God. There is a delusion that God is static and unchanging. This is not the case. God is actively manifesting its glory in nature, and nature is continually evolving. Religions should not be static. The moral compass of thousands of years ago needs to evolve as humanity evolves and modernizes. There is a delusion that the universe is without purpose and that life is meaningless. This is the engine behind atheism, woke culture, and the depression that is plaguing human minds. The universe has the intention to bring forth life. All the forces of nature are finely tuned to create environments where life can flourish. Any true scientist can see that the chances of the universe randomly accomplishing this fine-tuning would be statistically impossible. The universe is conscious, has intention, and its goal is to create life forms that come to experience unitive consciousness. There is a delusion that because of the force of entropy, the universe will expand forever and become cold, dark, and lifeless. This is the rationale behind those who think that life has no meaning and that it doesn't matter what we do in the here and now, because ultimately the universe will self-destruct. This is not the case. The universe is an eternal reality. The universe will ultimately reverse its expansion and over billions of years contract back into the primal singularity. After careful recalibrations from lessons learned in its last incarnation, it will again have a big bang birth and launch the next incarnation of the universe. In this process, nothing is lost. Mass and energy are conserved, and all information and lessons learned by its life forms are preserved and used for future evolution. Fifth, correcting the myth that eating meat and drinking dairy is necessary for human health. There is a delusion that humans have the right to exploit other species. To align with the spirit of Aloha, all interactions have to be a win for both parties. Ancient religions other than Judaism or Hinduism used to sacrifice humans in their religious worship. The Jews did not practice this, but they did practice animal sacrifice. As humanity evolves, religions need to evolve. Animal sacrifices should no longer be part of any religious ceremony. As humanity treats animals, corporations and governments will treat humanity. If humans exploit animals, they will also be exploited. As we sow, so shall we reap. The task of our generation is to evolve to plant-sourced nutrition. This honors the rights of animals as well as enhancing the health of humans. Veganism has been proven to enhance human health. Veganism also enhances the well-being of nature. It is a win-win. Veganism also has a profound effect on the calmness of the mind. Science has shown that the type of bacteria that we have in our guts changes depending on our nutrition. The vegan bacteria promotes a calm mental state and gives us gut feelings that are in harmony with nature. Sixth, the truth about sexuality. All interactions have to be a win for both parties and do no harm to anyone. Like any desire that can arise in the mind, sexuality is a powerful force that is hard to control. The first delusion is that sexuality is evil. Sexuality is woven into the fabric of consciousness. Our original motivation for creating the universe was to find expression for our love energy. We wanted someone to love other than our unitive self. We created names and forms to love us and for us to love them. Sexuality is an expression of this love energy. It is sacred, but its energy is not just for sex. Sexual energy can be transmuted into a powerful spiritual force known as ojas, mana, chai, and chai. This sacred energy transforms our lives to make us fit instruments to manifest God's loving energy in nature. It is available to anyone who is dedicated to loving service. The second delusion concerning sexuality is that we should be its slave. Just because the mind can create a desire does not mean that it should be fulfilled. Control of sexual energy is needed in gaining mental mastery. Seventh, the truth of who discovered nuclear energy. In order for an energy to be used properly, its origins need to be clear. The true discoveries of nuclear fission were never acknowledged by the Nobel Prize Committee. During the Second World War, Sweden was influenced by the Nazis to refrain from awarding Nobel Prizes to Jews. As such, the discovery of nuclear fission was awarded to only Otto Hahn and his lab partner because they were German. The real father of nuclear energy was Albert Einstein. The understanding of nuclear energy is only possible by understanding the theory of relativity. Without Einstein's understanding of the equivalence of mass and energy in the formula E equals mc squared, nuclear energy could not have been harnessed. Einstein himself did not know how to apply his equation to create nuclear fission. Lisa Meitner was the first woman professor of physics in Germany. It was Lisa Meitner who is the mother of nuclear energy. It is she who first envisioned that neutrons could be used to bombard uranium atoms to produce nuclear fission. It was she who in 1938 proposed this experiment to be carried out by Otto Hahn. It was Lise Meitner who in 1939 published an article in Nature explaining for the first time ever the steps of this process and named it nuclear fission. Until Einstein and Meitner are credited with this discovery, atomic energy will continue to be misused. Humanity must agree that no one can win a nuclear war. Meitner did not participate in the Manhattan Project that developed the first atomic bomb. She spent the last chapter of her life urging humanity to use nuclear energy only for peaceful purposes. Eighth, the truth about tinnitus. One of the most consequential delusions concerns the natural sounds that we hear ringing in our ears when the mind becomes still. Many people don't know what this sound represents and become fearful of it. They seek medical advice that often claims that they are experiencing a medical condition referred to as tinnitus. It may be in certain cases that extreme ringing in the ears can indicate some medical problem. However, in the vast majority of people, it is a natural sign of spiritual advancement. The unitive consciousness communicates to us through this ringing sound. Yogis for millennia have considered focusing on this sound to be one of the most effective meditation practices. Yogis call this sound the Nada Brahma, the sound of God. It is the sacred vibration that is the substratum of consciousness. It is the only eternal reality in the universe. Consciousness would not be possible without this primordial vibration. It is one with God, and God is one with it. To hear and meditate on the nada is the greatest blessing that a soul can experience. Those afraid of this sound ruin their lives in trying to avoid hearing it. They keep their lives filled with distractions and materialism to avoid hearing it. They seek constant mental stimulation to avoid hearing the nada. This is a deep ignorance and a root cause of human suffering. Sri Swami Sivananda, in his book on Nada Yoga, states, Nada is sound, Brahman willed. There was a sat sankalpa, vibration or spandana arose. There was the vibration of Om. This is Nada. The mind is fixed on Nada or Anahata sounds that are heard in the ear. LT gets laya or dissolution. The yogi enters into samadhi and attains knowledge of the self. This is Nada Yoga. Normally, when we plug our both ears and try to listen within us, we shall hear this wonderful sound. This sound is so called because it is not the result of striking or eating certain things, like the raising of a note on the violin or the veena. LT comes from the Anahata chakra, the heart chakra. Because the Anahata sound comes from that chakra, the chakra is so named. Mind is naturally attracted by sweet sounds. It is entrapped by the sweet sounds, just as a deer is entrapped by sweet music. When the mind gets absorbed in the Anahata sounds, you will attain knowledge of hidden things. You will hear paravak. You will develop the eye of intuition. Eventually, the mind is absorbed in Brahman or the Absolute. Ninth, letting go of the fear of death and the fear of life. One of the most pervasive delusions is the fear of death. The spiritual path leads us to a profound experience that transcends the experience of egoism. Meditation leads us to experiencing ourselves as the unchanging consciousness that is aware of life's unfolding changes. This experience frees us from the fear of death as we see that we are not dependent on having a mind or a body. We are eternal and unchanging. We are one with the unitive consciousness and are beyond birth and death. Many people come to this realization during near-death experiences. When they are clinically dead, they experience oneness, and from that point forward are freed from the fear of death. To live life fully, one must be fearless, and to free oneself from the fear of death is the greatest achievement. 10th, the right to pass in dignity.
In our culture, there is little mercy shown to humans who are suffering in their last chapter of life and wish to pass in peace. If a dog is suffering with an incurable illness, out of love and mercy for that animal, a vet will give it an injection to end its misery. Humans are not offered this same basic kindness. Any person who has lived beyond the average lifespan of a person in their culture should be given the right to transition whenever they choose. They should not be stigmatized for this decision, and they should be able to have a send-off party with their loved ones. They have fulfilled their service to humanity and deserve the right to pass with dignity.
11th, avoiding suicides. Some people contemplate suicide as a means for ending one's challenges. This is a delusion. The universe is a university. We are all students in the classroom. Life is an assignment to learn spiritual lessons. The goal is to pass these daily tests. Any problem has a solution. These tests are learning experiences that the soul needs to face. If these lessons are not learned in this lifetime, they will have to be faced in future incarnations. There is no escaping the lessons. Sooner or later it must be learned. Ultimately, we all achieve unitive consciousness. By facing our lessons with courage and resilience, we attain our goal sooner than later. Suicide just pushes the problem to a future time. It is better to accomplish today what can be achieved. Don't put off till tomorrow what can be achieved today. Suicide is not the answer. By facing life's challenges, we realize that we are not alone. The universe itself is supporting us in any trial or tribulations that manifest. 12th, eliminating weapons of mass destruction. If needed, warfare should be a precise surgery that minimizes damages. Weapons of mass discretion should never be used and must be eliminated. No viruses should be manipulated to become more lethal. Chemical warfare must be eliminated. During wars and disasters, civilians must be afforded refuge in nearby countries with similar cultures. Nuclear energy must be harnessed for peaceful purposes only. Chapter 12. Aligning Humanity with an Aloha Anthem. A universal human covenant based on the wisdom of the United Nations, Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the 10 Commandments, the 10 Yamas and Niyamas, the 12 alignments of the spirit of Aloha, the Golden Rule. When we die to the illusion of separation, we are born into the kingdom of God. We become aware that our deepest reality is unitive consciousness, and our lives are effortlessly guided in harmony with its values. We are all one tree. No matter which religious branch we are on, we have only one truck, one morality, and one God. Ego is the state where we focus on our differences. Our differences are blessings. Let us let go of any animosity between us. Let us ratify a universal human covenant that protects the rights of all peaceful cultures, a covenant that supports the well-being of all humans and of the animals and plants of the world. Humanity's destiny is to live in the spirit of Aloha and to be a force for improving biodiversity and for preserving sacred diverse cultures. A universal understanding of the 10 Commandments. The 10 Commandments provide scientific instructions for our spiritual journey. They are a path from the bondage of egoism to the promised land of God consciousness. God chose all of humanity to follow this sacred path of vibrational alignment. He chose the Jewish people to share this wisdom with the world. In order to experience God, we need to vibrate at His vibration, which is pure love. The Ten Commandments offer the essential wisdom for tuning your instrument to vibrate with unitive consciousness. First, I am the Lord thy God, who brought thee out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. In the first commandment, God introduces himself as the I am, the eternal, unchanging reality. The I am that is the source of the unitive consciousness is the same I am that is the witness of each soul is consciousness. It is the spark of life that is present in all living beings, including plants and animals. We are all connected to this one unitive consciousness. The I am that I truly am is not just a body-mind entity, enduring for a lifetime. It is the eternal soul, a spectrum ray of unitive consciousness. Our witness consciousness is our connection to the God within us. It generates the awareness of I am and our intuitive wisdom known as conscience. Our conscience guides us in knowing which actions are appropriate. Even animals have an I am awareness and a guiding conscience. When one identifies oneself to be the ego, and when one follows its guidance above that of the conscience, one is putting other gods before me. Egoism is the state of consciousness when one is trapped in the sense of separation and unable to clearly access intuitive wisdom. All that is called evil comes from putting the ego above the conscience. This is not actually evil, it is ignorance. Sooner or later, all souls will attain unitive consciousness. Following the Ten Commandments makes it happen much sooner. False gods that are commonly worshipped include egoism. Egoism is the sense that the I am is different from unitive consciousness. This ignorance is the root of all that is called evil. All other false gods get their power from this one misconception. This sense of separation must be overcome in this lifetime. That is the mission we are given. Those who don't see the meaning in life are ignorant of this truth. Life's a journey to discover our source and essence. That is the true purpose. Everything else is trivial in comparison. Practicing selfless service, yoga, meditation, plant-sourced nutrition, and study of spirituality will empower this transformation. Materialism. False gods can include material gain, wealth, property, prestige, status, mate, vehicle, dress, sexual pleasure, laziness, comfort, and the blind fulfilling of societal expectations. Our joy is in giving and being of service. When we learn to live in gratitude in the present moment, we can let go of ego striving. Good will strive through us. Give yourself in unconditional surrender to His hands. He is ready to receive you and will do everything for and through you. This is the secret of the spiritual journey. Those who arrive at unitive consciousness are pure instruments for unitive wisdom to bless earth. Though they work tirelessly, they are invigorated by their dedicated service. They feel that God is working through them, and they enjoy the process rather than being depleted by it. This state of consciousness is not reserved for a few saints. It is the destiny of each and every soul, including the souls of microbes, plants, and animals. Each of these souls will ultimately return to unitive consciousness. The God within us is our conscience. It is our moral compass that knows right from wrong, and if it is not sure, it knows who to trust for guidance. Our conscience has the power to override all of our false gods. When we surrender to God by dedicating our life force to serving God and His creation, the magic happens. We are given the wisdom to know our mission. We are given the enthusiasm and vision to strive for its fulfillment. We are given the joy of seeing unending synergizes unfold as the pieces in the puzzle come into place. It's the only play worthy of our attention. By giving ourselves to God, God then gives itself to us. In this transaction, we are the winners. We experience life as the manifestation of just one loving energy. We are freed from the fear of death and the fear of life. We experience the here and now moment of our lives with deep appreciation and admiration for the unfoldment of the divine plan. We experience being in heaven on earth and the joy that comes from our source. Our minds are still, we hear the nada vibration, and it animates us effortlessly. We are channels for funneling unitive consciousness into human consciousness. That is the goal of the Ten Commandments. Second, thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image. Our deepest reality is beyond name and form. It is pure awareness. It is difficult for a human mind to grasp that which is beyond name and form. To visualize the formless, we need to use symbols, icons, photos, and statues. This commandment reminds us not to worship these symbols themselves, but rather the one unitive consciousness that they represent. Third, thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. The name of God is the essence of God. The essence of creation is sacred vibration called the nada. The primordial nada vibration is the source of unitive consciousness. More fundamental than consciousness is this eternal sacred vibration. This vibration is the name of God. In Hebrew prayers, it is the name of God that is praised. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Lolam Vaed. Praised be his name, whose glorious kingdom is for ever and ever. This eternal vibration can be heard when the mind is still. It is the divine choir. When we live to serve, the mind will become still and the nada will become dominant in our awareness. The nada can animate us to fulfill our missions on every level. This is the state of effortless effort. Although the body and mind are dynamically serving, the mind is focused on the nada and is working in a direct drive to manifest its magic. Those who are taking the Lord's name in vain are those who claim that his sacred vibration is an illness called tinnitus. What is primarily referred to as tinnitus is the awareness of the nada. Those who are afraid of making friends with their inner orchestra are taking the Lord's name in vain. Those who claim a rationale for their hatred and ignorance by using the name of God to justify their violence are taking the name of God in vain. When a terrorist kills in the name of Allah, the Lord's name is being taken in vain. No blessing will come to the terrorist. As he is sowed, so shall he reap. The tetragrammaton corresponds to the seventh energy center, the crown chakra, and has a vibration oscillating at 756 Hz, 7 times 10 to the power of 8. The tetragrammaton is an expression of the nada, the sacred vibration of God. It is the vibration of the return to spiritual order and wisdom. At this frequency, water or sand will form intricate cymatic Fibonacci spirals and sacred geometric patterns. This vibration opens the crown chakra to the unitive wisdom field. The vowels for the tetragrammaton are a fluctuation between yehiv and yehiva. When a violin is played by a virtuoso violinist, the musician quivers the strings back and forth to create a fluctuation in the vibration of each note. This vibrato adds a dimension of beauty and a depth of emotion to the music that is beyond that of a steady note. Similarly, the tetragrammaton fluctuates between the vibration of yehiv and yehiva. These are the vowels that give the optimal power to the tetragrammaton. They are the ancient Hebrew vibrations for the sacred name of God, also known as Jehovah, Yahovah, or Yahweh. The tetragrammaton is ancient Hebrew letters with vowels are as follows. Yehiv is the vibration that corresponds to the universe's primal singularity's downward-pointing tetrahedral pyramid, which is comprised of the three intention pairs: gratitude, simplicity; cooperation, love; service, unity. The overall intention of these three pairs is to understand, who am I? Yehiva is the vibration that corresponds to the primal singularity's upward-pointing tetrahedral pyramid, which is comprised of the three intention pairs: peace, humility; respect, honesty; happiness, freedom. The overall intention of these three pairs is to make the universe work more effectively and efficiently. This intention is also expressed as, how may I serve? The vibrato of these vibrations creates the tetragrammaton sacred vibration, which aligns human consciousness with unitive consciousness. The tetragrammaton's vibrations are powerful and must be used for intentions in alignment with unitive field intention. Sacred name of the unitive field, such as the tetragrammaton, should be meditated upon and recited for purposes in alignment with unitive intention. Liquid or sand vibrated with a frequency of 756 Hz form cymatic patterns of Fibonacci spirals. Fourth, remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. This command has two interpretations. The first is that we should remember to observe Friday night, the beginning of the Sabbath day, with rituals that include bathing, wearing special clothes, lighting candles, a drink of the fruit of the vine, and a special bread called challah. We normally refrain from working as much as possible and spend the day in prayer, study, and remembrance for the blessings that God has given us. A second interpretation offers a deeper understanding of the Sabbath as having one day a week to let go of ego identity and embrace unitive consciousness. This is done by a surrender to experiencing the here and now moments of Sabbath by keeping the mind still. It is impossible to totally refrain from working on the Sabbath. Children and animals still need to be fed. The fire still needs to be maintained. We still need to perform essential tasks that are unavoidable. Unitive consciousness is able to skillfully manifest through us without us having to generate thoughts. This is the experience of meditation in action. The practice of stilling the mind bears its fruit, which is the state of effortless action. In this state of consciousness, one hears the nada vibration as the predominant experience of awareness. This sacred vibration animates the body and mind with the intuitive wisdom to brilliantly manifest our mission. This state of oneness is what is practiced in Sabbath observance, and its fruit is a life free of effort. In this state, one identifies with being the silent observer. The unitive consciousness takes care of animating the body and mind as its instruments for achieving its magic. It is the blessings of blessings and the sweetest fruit that life can offer. God itself launches intentions for 6 days and then rests in gratitude for one day to enjoy the fruits of his intentions. When we align ourselves with this same rhythm, we are in the flow of life. The deeper meaning of the Sabbath is eloquently expressed by Sri Swami Sivananda in his book, Practical Way to Self-Realization. The all-merciful God resides in the chambers of your heart. He is quite close to you. You have forgotten him, but he still cares for you. Troubles are his blessings in disguise. He wants to mold your body and mind as fit instruments for his unhampered play or lila. He ministers or attends to your wants in a better manner than you yourself will do. Keep the load down that you are carrying on your shoulder unnecessarily on account of your egoism. Give up your self-created responsibilities and be at perfect ease. Have perfect faith in him. Do total unreserved self-surrender. Run to him now. He is waiting with outstretched hands to embrace you. He will do everything for you. Believe me. Take my word for it. Open your heart to him quite freely like a child. All miseries will come to an end. Say unto him at least once with Bhava sincerely, I am thine, my Lord. All is thine. Thy will be done. The gulf of separation will vanish now. All miseries, troubles, worries, and diseases will melt away. You will become one with the Lord. Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. Fifth, honor thy father and thy mother. On the spiritual path, in order to progress, one needs to have the humility to learn from our elders. They would have faced the same challenges that we are experiencing and can guide us on our path. Without this humility, we will have to make the mistakes ourselves rather than learning from others' mistakes. By being grateful to our parents and elders and considering their guidance, we can quickly progress on our spiritual journey. Younger religions that are based on Judaism or Hinduism should honor their parent religions. Sixth, thou shalt not murder. The true meaning of this quote is that life is sacred and the taking of life should be done only in self-defense. If a criminal is randomly shooting innocent people, it is our duty to stop him, even if it means killing the offender. Our goal is to save innocent lives. Sometimes it is the duty of humans to kill invasive, harmful animals like rodents and mosquitoes in order to maintain a healthy environment. This is also justified when doing so will ultimately preserve life and enhance the well-being of the environment. Seventh, thou shalt not commit adultery. All sexual interactions have to be consensual. They must be a win for both parties and do no harm to anyone. By mastering one's sexual energy and transmuting it into spiritual energy, we are able to raise your level of consciousness. One of the main ropes binding the ego-toit sense of separation and frustration is the unquenchable force of sexuality. Even great masters can falter in their control of their sexual energy. It is a force that can rage like a forest fire and devour all in its path. In the yamas and niyamas, the fourth pillar, brahmacharya. Brahmacharya means sense control, specifically of the sexual organs. When we transmute this energy into spiritual energy, our lives flower. Eighth, thou shalt not steal. There are many ways that we can steal wealth from our environment. One way is by being a slave to materialism. If we allow our desires to run unchecked, they can convince us that we need the status that comes from owning mansions, yachts, jets, collections of luxury cars, shelves of shoes and closets of expensive clothes and jewelry. Once we allow ourselves to become the slave of our mind's desires, we steal our peace. We also steal from humanity the wealth that is needed by poor people for their simple existence. Planet Earth is an ecosystem that has limited resources. We need to live simply and take only what we need to be able to serve humanity with our full power. Stoic wisdom offers guidance in living a life dedicated to simplicity and service. This yields the true fulfillment that materialism can never deliver. More is less and less is more. The simpler our pleasures, the more joy we will experience. Let us not steal our joy and life energy by trying to achieve happiness in accumulating unnecessary possessions. Ninth, Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. What we do to others will be done unto us. If we lie about others, others will lie about us. Life is a mirror. Truthfulness is the foundation for peace. Try to see the good in everyone. Try to focus on the strengths of others and encourage them to continue to develop their strengths. By gossip or by being overly critical, we bear false witness against others. Look at the good and praise that. In pointing out others' shortcomings, try to add praise also for their strong points. We are all learning and growing. Encouragement is more powerful than criticism. Let us be mirrors that help others grow rather than tearing them down. 10th, thou shalt not covet. In order to control the mind, it is necessary to use our conscience to monitor the desires that are presented by the mind. The mind is a bundle of thoughts that can enslave the soul if left unchecked. The mind is like a garden. Only those desires that are beneficial should be encouraged and pursued. Those desires that could bring harm to oneself or to others should be weeded out. In order to have a solid foundation for spiritual growth, we need to accept our present situation with gratitude. From that acceptance, we can move forward to impact changes while maintaining our gratitude and peace. When we see others with attributes that we would like for ourselves, instead of being jealous and resenting them, we should use their examples as an inspiration for us to work and achieve what they have accomplished. Moral compass guiding to a life of integrity. The 10 yamas and niyamas are a compass guiding humanity to true integrity. 1. Ahimsa, non-violence. 2nd, Satya, truthfulness. 3. Asteya, non-stealing. 4. Brahmacharya, celibacy, moderation, faithfulness to one's partner. 5. Aparigraha, non-greed. 6th, Saucha, purity of mind, speech, and body. 7. Santosha, contentment. 8. Tapas, perseverance in the face of obstacles. 9. Swadhyaya, spiritual study. 10. Ishwara Pranidhana, surrender to unitive consciousness, the 12 values of the spirit of Aloha. 1. Mahalo, gratitude. By looking at life experiences through the lens of appreciation, we realize that the unitive field is continuously choreographing our present moment to offer us experiences that are perfect for our growth. 2. Ha'aha'a, humility. By accepting the present moment of our lives, we open ourselves to allowing unitive energy to flow through us. 3. Ihai, respect. By seeing everything as a manifestation of the one unitive field, we naturally offer our love and service freely. 4th, Laulima, simplicity. By taking only what we need and living life close to nature, we open to the wealth of being satisfied with what is given in the here and now and are freed from the delusion of always needing more to be happy. 5. Malahi, cooperation. By joyfully using our gifts and wealth to serve the unitive field through its creation, we allow unitive energy to flow through us. 6th, Pono, honesty. By choosing a life of non-violence, we live in integrity with our true nature. 7. Hauoli, happiness. By stilling our minds, we experience the peace within. This is the only joy that can truly fulfill our needs. 8. Aloha, love. By allowing our joy to overflow in service to the unitive field and its creation, the breath of life flows through us. 9. Kuleana, service. By fulfilling our obligations to nature and our environment, by giving more than we consume, we live in harmony and balance. 10. Noah, freedom. By choosing our connection with the unitive field as the source of our happiness, we free ourselves from depending on the approval of others. 11th, Maluhia, peace. By seeing all of our experiences as perfect for our ultimate growth, we live in appreciation, the seed of contentment. 12th, Lokahi, unity. By realizing our oneness with all of creation, we realize that we too are one with the unitive field. and Aloha. Alignment and anthem, we the people of planet Earth, in order to secure our freedom and well-being, do hereby acknowledge and pledge to all members of the human race the following rights and responsibilities. 1. We agree to follow the 30 tenets of the United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights. 2. We agree to follow the 10 Commandments. 3. We agree to follow the Yamas and the Niyama S. 4. We agree to express in our lives the 12 values of the spirit of Aloha. 5. We agree to follow the Golden Rule by treating all of creation in the way that we would want to be treated. 6. We pledge to use our life energy to enhance humanity and nature's well-being, thereby leaving Earth better by us having lived. Sangha, Spirit of Aloha Nature, Guardian Holistic Alliance, we invite you to be an ally of our Aloha mission. The Spirit of Aloha Temple is a non-profit 501c3 spiritual service organization in the lineage of Sri Swami Sivananda, founder of the Divine Life Society, Rishikesh, India, in 1936. Swami Sivananda's vision was shared by his many disciples, including Sri Swami Sachidananda, founder of the Integral Yoga Institute in 1966. This inspirational lineage lives on today through the dedication of their 122 disciples, including Swami Swarupananda, aka Frederick Swarup Honig, founder of the Spirit of Aloha Temple, Botanical Gardens and Bird Sanctuary in 1994 on Maui, Hawaii. The gardens are a sacred 11-acre oceanfront historic Hawaiian heritage site. We invite you to be an ally to our Ohana of Spirit of Aloha Nature Guardians. Nature Guardians embrace all of creation as one family. We strive to live a holistic lifestyle, free of illegal drugs, alcohol and tobacco except as sacraments, and free of meat, fish, eggs, and dairy products. Nature Guardians are committed to living simply, supporting the earth through our use of sustainable organic horticulture and plant-based nutrition. Nature Guardians are guided by our conscience and the Golden Rule, with service as a primary focus of our lives. We respect teachers from many traditions, along with the wisdom of nature, as guidance for living in alignment with the unitive consciousness of the universe. Nature Guardians see all spiritual traditions as embodying universal wisdom, summarized eloquently by the 12 pillars of the Spirit of Aloha, as taught by our revered Hawaiian Kumu Puanani Mahoi. The gardens are dedicated as a living temple of the Spirit of Aloha. Nature Guardians express these values in their lives through their integrity and generosity, practice of yoga and meditation, and commitment to being easeful, peaceful, useful, and joyful. We embrace a lifestyle that is free of violence, except for self-defense. We employ the ancient Hawaiian wisdom of Ho'oponopono diplomatic negotiations as our means of resolving interpersonal, civil, and international disputes. Nature Guardian support. 1. The United Nations Universal Declaration for Human Rights as the inalienable rights of all humanity. 2. The rights of animals and nature by embracing a diet of organic plant-based nutrition. 3. Equal rights for women. 4. Equal rights for lesbian, gay, and bisexual individuals. 5. Equal rights for native cultures, minorities, and individuals with disabilities. 6. A world that is harmonious, prosperous, multicultural, free of weapons of mass destruction and war. We welcome you to join our Aloha Alliance by enrolling online at www.spiritofaloha.org. An Aloha anthem, a whale song for humanity. Yearly humpback whales migrate from Alaska to Hawaiian waters to give birth to their calves and to mate. To coordinate their movements, they sing a long, complex song over and over again. All the whales of the area sing the same song. The Aloha anthem is a whale song for humanity. By aligning with this unifying vision, we can coordinate our lives to serve humanity and nature.
Our country 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee we sing. Land where our fathers died, land of our pilgrims' pride, from every mountain side. Let freedom ring, let freedom ring. Umalkahea, o kaina ikapono. Umalkahea, o kaina ikapono. We pledge our harmony with one ecology, living in peace. Synergy, prosperity, sustainability, filled with diversity. Aloha, for one and all. Mahalo, ihi, laulima, maalahi. Holy, aloha, kuleana, noa, mahaluia, lokahi. Gratitude, humility, respect, cooperation, honesty. Happiness and love, service and freedom, peace and unity. You and I, we are one, you and I are one. I am, I sing for you, I am, I give for you, I live for you. I'm there for you, I will carry you forever in every way, forever and a day. I am a stream of love, Hrim Namaha. Om Hrim Namaha. Om Hrim Namaha. Om Shalom Aloha. Om Hrim Namaha. Om Shalom Aloha. Om Hrim Namaha. Om Shalom Aloha. Om Hrim